Got 3 cars, an e-tron, an IONIQ 5 and a Polestar on the most powerful stations right now, but we were plugged into 150 kilowatt. How much longer did it take us to get to 80% from 10% state of charge? Here we go again then. Another 10 to 80% test at the same place we did the charging in optimal conditions and cold conditions, Auburn Mall. We're going to do a 150 kilowatt station this time to see how that time compares with the 350 kilowatt we did just over in the distance there. So let's mosey on over and get ourselves plugged in. Before we start up, check the Torque Pro readings. This is the Torque Pro app on Android. Gives you all your extra data via the OBD2 Bluetooth connection. 10%. State of charge here is 10.5%, but it's close enough. 77 degrees on the battery. It's warm here, but it's not going to get much warmer. This is about where you want to be. It shouldn't do any thermal throttling for heat and too hot a pack until up into the hundreds. And it was 19 minutes, 18 to 19 minutes. We pretty much hit the manufacturer estimate on the 10 to 80% on the 350 kilowatt station with the 800 volts there. So we'll try the 150 kilowatts and see what that does. So the station to the left here was the one we did the 350 test on. Don't want to get the other 350 either. We'll just go towards the end here, pull into this 150 kilowatt. Your older EVgo stations up there are only 50 kilowatt, but they've served us in the past. Charging started. See what we fire up to, and then we'll monitor Torque Pro. Looks like a promising start. Right up to 140, 141. We'll see if it tries to get more aggressive than that. We've heard reports of people doing closer to 170, 175 kilowatts, even on these 150 kilowatt stations in EV6 and IONIQ 5. So we'll see if it does that. But even if not, you see the prediction right now is the 22 minutes. Get it on time lapse, and we'll keep that running. So just breaking up the time lapse a little bit as we approach 50%, just hit it. So we're just ticked over to 150 kilowatts. It's slowly built up from 140, 141 to that, and it's trying to get a little bit above 150 right now, so maybe we'll push a bit beyond it. But battery is getting warmer here. It's approaching that kind of 100 plus degrees that I think it gets a bit uncomfortable around 103, 104, so we'll see if it squeezes the session into that little window between 70 and just over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But you can see cranking along here. Just wanted to note when I was changing this, because you can shut it off to DC fast charge up to 80%. As I do that, that will alter the thing here so you don't get that other reading at the top because it knows you don't care about it. If I put it up to 90%, this will give me the time calculation to 90, and then if I change this all the way up to 100, that will do the same thing again and recalculate. Still leaves the time to 80% because that's quite a common metric people like to monitor, but it will also do the other state of charge there. So if you're 90%, fine, or 100, both interesting, and if you put 80%, it'll just default to that. So that's what that is. Got an e-tron pulling in, which I'll look at in a sec, but I'm going to go back to the time lapse here. It's moving along fairly nicely. We should be within that, let's see, have a quick look at the station while we're here. So 14 minutes in, 35 kilowatt hours delivered, 10 to 50% pretty much in about 12-13 minutes. All right. Got your e-tron, able to use the, I don't know what that one is, I guess that would be the 350 kilowatt. Doesn't really matter as there is another one available. And let's get back to the time lapse to cover the last kind of 20-25% of the charge. Okay, so getting very close to this 80% now. You can see it still says 9 minutes to 90. I'm going to adjust that so that it shuts off exactly where we want it to at 80%. So we'll get an accurate time reading and energy delivered from the station and Electrify America's report. So the battery temperature has got up to a pretty toasty 109. Here, 95 degrees Fahrenheit minimum, 115 degrees max at the moment. Getting very close, so this will shut off in a sec. It did taper down to about 130 kilowatts at around 70%. Could have been 106. Oh, there it goes. It's finished. Okay, so you can see that current battery level is higher than target charge. Okay, so we'll get unplugged. Another IONIQ pulling in there. And better part of 55 kilowatt hours in 22 minutes, much as it said. And it would have cost $7.71, but with the plan it is free because we squeezed within that 30-minute window. 10 to 80%, 22 minutes, 55 kilowatt hours delivered. So that's the thing, it's really not a big deal. Even on 150 kilowatt, we might freak out a bit when people are using the 350 kilowatts, which I think might be the case right now. If I go over to my right there, I think the e-tron and the Polestar are on the 350 kilowatt stations. The 3 stations on the end, the two, the one in the middle is 150 kilowatt, and the two on the outside, the one with the Polestar and the e-tron, are the 350 kilowatt. So IONIQ is on the 150 kilowatt, so obviously not maximizing its potential. But again here, what we can tell from that is that it's really only going to take, if he is only going to 80%, about 3 or 4 minutes longer. You know, really, that 3 or 4 minutes, how much difference does it really make? It's not something to get too bugged about. Obviously, it's worth doing if you can get a 350 kilowatt station, shave a few minutes off that session. But, you know, in reality, you're still going to be under the 30-minute window for those Electrify America complimentary sessions in the IONIQ 5, so you're not going to spend any money doing that. You won't have to unplug, plug back in again, because it's unlikely to go above that 30 minutes. And